Hi everybody, welcome back to Organic Master Gardening here at 779 in southern Hungary. I wanted to make this video about compost because there seems to be an awful lot of confusion about what can go in it, what can't. I've got a video that shows you that very easily, what's green, what's brown, that kind of thing, what can go in, what can't go in, and the reasons behind that, and then what you do, how you make it. Some people are using tumblers, some are using the system I'm showing you here at the minute with these pallets. Others use Daleks, which I also use as well, but I just wanted to try and clarify a few things here first of all. Now this I started, in fact it was filled up to the top here back in September, so we're talking 6 months. And what I've done, I've turned this once, and if you look, you can see that's pretty good going. This is the bottom of the pile. I can use this, no problem whatsoever. There's still lumps of horse manure in here, and there's a lot of organic matter, but it's perfect to use. Look, we've even got some mycelia there, the white fungi, the magic stuff. Excuse me, just getting over this cold of mine. It might go, you never know. Maybe a whiskey. Anyway, so yeah, this is good to use as a mulch. Is it any good to use as a potting mix? I'm not so sure, but I've turned this twice. It's quite lumpy, and it's now all come into this area here. I'll just peel back this, and this is what I've got left. So it's quite bulky. There's a lot of organic matter in there, as you can see, but it's good stuff. It's very good stuff, but I'm not sure I'd want to use that for germination seedlings because I think it could be a little bit too strong. Anyway, that's there, and that's staying there now until I want to use that as a top dressing or a mulching for the vegetable bays that I've got up the back. So like I say, 6 months to get to that stage. I've got an awful lot in there, and it's not cost me anything to do, just a bit of time, and obviously the pallets. Now that's one type of compost. The other one is that heap over there, and that's green waste, and I would guess that that's probably half the age of this I've just shown you, because that's done on a commercial scale. Your municipal councils etc will collect the waste from your town or your villages or whatever else it is, and then they put it through their system, and that's what comes out. It's extremely carbon rich, which you can tell by the colour, but it's okay. And what I've used that for, I bought that in to top up the beds that I created up there in the background that you can see. And if you go on to the channel and look for the video about is no dig any good or not, you'll get a better, more in-depth understanding of the beds that I've created using that one. And then the smaller pile to the left is 1-year-old green waste, which is, it seems to have a bit more nutrition in that. But I'm going to show you something else that I'm going to use to see if it's worth doing it. So let's go and take a look. Now regular viewers to the channel will be aware, some can say, I've said it myself, that I'm obsessed with compost. It's an important thing, we need it, and we need it for two reasons. One, to start off our seeds, but also to add as a mulch if you're doing the no-dig system on top of the beds that you have. And generally speaking, as a rule, well, that's very rule, this could be a good pun, the depth of compost that you put on, did you get that, can vary. You know, people ask how much do you put on, and you can say, oh, I put on a couple of inches or so. Well, we all know blokes aren't very good at measurements, but apart from that, the compost is quite light. So yeah, it might go on as 3 inches, but by the time it settles down, it could be 1. The point is that once you've created your bed, you are just topping it up. So you may start off needing quite a large amount of material to get going, but you don't, it's not always the case. Now I'm sifting some multi-purpose compost that I bought from a local DIY store. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because there's a lot of debate out there about the quality of the composts, and some people are experiencing some really bad situations where they're using this stuff with multi-purpose or potting mixes and all this kind of thing, and they're not getting very good results. I've seen some videos recently of people talking about the how bad their compost was, but they were actually using the wrong type of compost. I'm just pulling the door closed because it's yeah, they were using the wrong type of compost, so nothing was ever going to grow. So I'm looking at this because I'm curious. What I've got is I've got 1 bucket of this size of the compost straight out of the bag, and I'm sieving it through a 4mm mesh that I've got here, because I want to see what I've got in there. And then one thing I've already found, that nasty little piece of plastic, and I'm going to put that into a separate container, because at the end of this I want to see what comes out. So all this kind of stuff here, I'm looking to see the quality of what's left. So this is what's left over, and that is going to go into an identical size tub as this one, and then everything I sieve will go into a third, and then we can look to see how much rubbish is in here and how much good stuff is in here. So I'll crack on with this. It's going to take me a while, so why not come back to me when I've finished. So we're just coming up to the last sifting, if you like, the last batch. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Now I'm doing this because I'm getting so many people I'm talking to on various social media platforms about all kinds of subjects, but mainly to do with no dig. And I'm also speaking to a lot of people about composting, and it's really difficult, I guess, when if you don't have a lot of experience, you're relying on, I suppose, an element of trust from the shops that you're buying a half decent product. But from what I gather, that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, okay, let's have a look at this. So that was the tub. As you can see, it's now empty of the multi-purpose compost that I bought from the shop. Now this is what's just come out of it, and it's, you know, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no, you know, it looks like very decomposed wood chip, I guess. I don't know how these guys make this stuff. They don't really, nobody really seems to sort of tell you. I suppose, I don't know, but I get the feeling it's going to be not that dissimilar to the green waste compost that I've got. I mean, where do they collect all this stuff from in the first place? So anyway, that's that. But that can go on the compost heap and rot down even more. Or I could use it as a mulch around the flower beds if I wanted to. There's nothing wrong with it. And then this is what I've sieved out. So it's 4mm, and it's that way up, that far up. So I started off with that much, and I've taken out that amount of material after sifting it, and it feels lovely and soft. Doesn't smell. I'm not going to taste it. Now, how many pieces of plastic did I find? Well, we know about the red piece, and I think that's some kind of a material. It's not a root, so 2 pieces. Well, that's not bad. That's pretty clean to me. That's how, I would say that that is all right. That bag, which is, how big's the bag? It's a 50 litre bag. It cost me a tenner, so £10 sterling. That isn't too bad. I'm not that disappointed about it, and I'm going to be using this now to start off my next set of seeds. So that's going to be in the next couple of days or so. So you need to tune in for that. But you know, it's good gear. It's good. It's okay. Proof of the pudding's in the eating, so they say. I shall sow my squash seeds, etc., because now's the time for me to be doing that, using this, and we'll see what happens when they come out. Let's go and look at the Daleks, because there's something going on over there. So I've been filling this up with some grass cuttings recently and some more brown materials, but I've only got a temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit in there, so that's not hot enough by any means. But being a black container, it will heat up quite quickly in the sun. So let's put the lid back on that one. And this one has just got all kinds of stuff in here, potting compost from failed seeds, etc. So again, I will keep the lid closed on there, and as the summer sun gets on them, it will heat up. You know what, I still haven't painted them, but then no one came back to me with any suggestions for names for these two things. So until you do, by leaving me a comment, they're going to stay black and boring. Anyway, let's get back to the shed. So there we have it then. That, you know, shop bought compost is well, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bit of a gamble, I guess. You never know what you're going to get until you open the bag. You might get a good batch, you might not. But it's not, you know, the thing with this stuff is if you're going to use this to create a medium to start off seeds, absolutely fine, no problem with it whatsoever, because the seed has all the nutrients and the energy it needs within itself to get going. This isn't as sterile as the green waste compost I showed you earlier, so you know, you could pot up your tomato seedlings with this, no problem whatsoever, because there is nutrients in here, pretty sure of that. And if you wanted to make, you know, additional measures to make sure it's even more free draining than it currently is, you could do two things. You can either sift that at say 6 mil or 8 mil if you wanted to, so you've got those pieces there just to keep that drainage going, or you can add some vermiculite to it, which is exactly what vermiculite does. It aids the compost, makes it more free draining so the seeds don't drown, basically. So that is a great alternative. I wouldn't be using the garden compost sift through initially to get things going. It's a waste. I don't think it needs it. And so, like I say, 10 quid for a 50 litre bag is absolutely ideal. It's not a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. Now, once your seedlings are in the ground, they're going to need additional feed. The Americans call it amending, which is interesting. And on the raised beds, what I did, I amended, if you like, the gardens and the onion beds with wood ash, because wood ash is potash, so it's a great source of potassium, as we know, and nitrogen, but it also contains trace elements of things like calcium, which onions love. So that and a top dressing of your garden compost as a mulch should be enough for you each season to keep your plants in great health. There's not much else I can say on this subject. I really encourage you to, if you can, well, you are growing your own. Make your own compost. You can use Daleks like this. There are these tumblers on the market that I'm hearing a lot about for small spaces, or you can use the 2 or 3 base systems I'm using with pallets around the back, but that we first saw at the beginning of the video. Either way, you only really want to be making compost as a top dressing for your beds. Certainly if you're following the no dig system. You don't want to be making all that compost and then digging it in the ground. It's just a waste and so much effort. Bad for your back. Anyhow, if you like that video, give us a thumbs up, be really nice. And if you want to subscribe, I'd be really grateful for that. I'm trying to get to my YouTube targets of 1,000 subscribers and was it 4,000 watch hours? Well, I've gone over 300 in the first 4 months of subscribers, and I'm over 1,000 hours of viewing, so that's great. I'm not getting paid for any of this, and all the advice I'm giving you is my own opinions, and it's free. But if YouTube want to start paying me some money when I hit those subscriber numbers for advertisers, why not? Anyway, that's me whinging about something. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Catch up with me very, very soon when I start doing my seed sowing for my squashes, in particular pumpkins and butternuts. See you soon.